A quick recap, meeting roles and responsibilities. Do you know why we have roles in Toastmasters? Spencer said to provide structure. And then, yes, that is why we have roles in Toastmasters, not just to provide structure, but to provide hands-on opportunities for our members to gain experience in a multitude of different skill sets, which we will be discussing in this presentation. Some of the roles that we will be discussing in this first half are the Toastmaster, the topics, or table topics master, speakers, general evaluator, speech evaluators, timer, grammarian, and awe counter. The Toastmaster leads the meeting. So a lot of these roles offer skills that can be transferable skills to your everyday life. So the Toastmaster leads the meeting, asks for any agenda changes, and makes sure that all the roles are filled and guides the transitions and engagements. So the way that equates to real world experience and skills, it's good MC practice, leadership skills, builds confidence, you get to work on your communication skills, and you get to learn how to adapt quickly to ever-changing situations. The next role would be our table topics master. So table topics masters help our members learn how to speak quickly on their feet through impromptu speaking. What we want to see from our table topic masters is them explaining the rules. So it's like presenting a mini speech. We want to have an intro, a body, and a conclusion all wrapped up in a 2-minute time span, 2-minute max. So you have up to a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes. That's what we would like our table topic master to explain, and then come up with some creative questions for our members to answer. The real world skills that you get with this is creative thinking. You can learn how to facilitate discussions and learn how to read a room effectively. The pro tip here is the more you volunteer to answer in table topics, the better you get at impromptu speaking. Speakers. So speakers that's why we're here. We're here to learn how to speak. So we want to deliver powerful, prepared speeches, bring stories and ideas to life, which helps build confidence and communication skills. So you're going to hear me say that quite a bit throughout this, because that's what we are all about, building confidence and our communication skills. So the real world skills you get from this, you get to learn how to structure clear and compelling messages. You influence through your storytelling and your delivery, and then you grow from the feedback that is given from your evaluator. A general evaluator. General evaluator watches over the whole meeting, and they track everybody's performance, and then they ask for the role reports at the end from the awe counter, the timer, and the grammarian, and then they kind of deliver their thoughts and opinions on the meeting, how we did, where we can improve. It just helps us become better Toastmasters, like helps our meetings become stronger. So the real world skills you get from being a general evaluator is observational skills, identifying strengths and improvement areas, and deliver clear, actionable feedback that people can use. We have a sergeant at arms at every meeting, which is different, pretty much every meeting. And they help prepare the space. They help set up and take down everything for the meeting. They welcome members, and then they lead, for our club, they lead the opening introductions and opens the floor to the Toastmaster to take over the rest of the meeting. What you can transfer into your day-to-day with that is it's very helpful with organizing. Organizing and time management to communicate warmly and confidently and helping support others. A speaker evaluator. So the speaker evaluator understands what the speaker wants to try and to achieve with their speech, whether that is through their own pathway objectives or their personal goals. So it's always good to sit down with your the speaker and the speaker evaluator and kind of have a little conversation together at some point before the speaker speaks, so that you know what they're speaking on, what they want to achieve, and especially what the name of their speech is. The real world skills that you get from this is thoughtful observation, critical thinking, and constructive communication. So the speech evaluator role is super important. It's like the super sauce of Toastmasters, aside from the impromptu speaking. This is about evaluating, it's not judging. So you really want to try and use I statements, like I saw, I felt, I heard, instead of you did this, you did that. You could say, I saw that you tried, this. Maybe next time that, or, I would say this. The timer, very important role because we like to try and be on time as much as possible in Toastmasters. So the timer is responsible for running the signals, which is red, yellow, or green, red, green, yellow, red. And depending on the time, so if it's a speech or an educational, they usually run between 5 minutes to 7 minutes, 10 minutes roughly. And if it's table topics, it's 1 minute to 2 minutes. So depending on what segment we're at, it's up to the timer to keep track of the time. And then they give their report at the end of the meeting. So the real world skills with that is time management, of course, and you can stay aware and multitask effectively and communicate under pressure. The grammarian introduces the word of the day, listens for language and grammar, and then reports on that language and usage at the end of the meeting. We really like to encourage our grammarians to also look for powerful statements, alliteration, just different things that stand out in the meeting that help us build on our vocabulary. And speaking of that, the real world skills that you get from being a grammarian is it helps improve your vocabulary and language skills, fine-tuned observational skills, and you give constructive feedback. The counter role. So this explains how it helps us keep track of our crutch words and improves our speaking at the end of the day. So your job is what we're looking for is for people to track individually. So if Kimberly says, so like we kind of want to keep track of that for her, and so on and so forth for every member, if possible. If we're having a really busy meeting, it's okay to just kind of overall cover, like we all say like, so, and then try and give some feedback about how we can remedy that. That's how we learn how to grow with counting, but we really want to focus on the individual because that helps the individual. So the real world skills with that is listen actively, observe the speech, identify its habits and communications, and of course, delivers feedback. So the additional roles, this is kind of like what I was talking about before the presentation started. There's extra roles in other Toastmasters. We have extra roles that other clubs don't have as well. There's the presenter of the invocation. I've heard that at other clubs. It's just kind of like a little statement at the beginning. It's kind of like our toast. Joke master, quiz master, vote counter, and parliamentarian, which I think is kind of like the sergeant at arms. All the rules. Oh, okay. That's not what it told me, but that makes more sense. So the toast and invocation sets the tone for the meeting. Keep this on our theme, and you get to practice occasion speaking. So that helps reference the real world skills because you learn how to speak confidently and craft short messages in case you want to be giving a toast at a wedding or some event or ceremony, and it helps you connect emotionally with the audience. Joke master shares a short humorous story or joke. Dad jokes are allowed, but we want to encourage longer jokes. We want it to be appropriate for the audience, so keep the humor respectful and appropriate. Choose humor for all audiences. Use clean and inclusive humor. Humor builds connection. It helps you read the audience, and speak confidently in social settings. Quizmaster creates a quiz from the content heard throughout the meeting, encourages active listening throughout the meeting, and then test recall with the short quiz so that real world skills, actively listening for key insights, thoughtful, reflective questions, and identify important details quickly. So there are also other roles: Sergeant at Arms, President, Vice President of Education, Vice President of Public Relations, Vice President of Membership, and Secretary and Treasurer. But I think I'm going to stop here because I'm at the red. And this will have to just be for another educational that either I can share or one of you lovely members can share through your own Better Speaker series. Thank you.